Happy Tuesday! We are on week 7 of music, and we're going to continue on with what we learned last week. So last week I introduced music families with you, which is different categories of instruments, and you guys watched that Disney special on percussion instruments. And I gave you those 5 questions to answer, and I said next week we'd stay tuned to be able to hear the answers to some of those questions. So by now, you guys should have answered those questions, and I'm just going to go over them to check your answers, okay? So the first question I asked you was, what are the 2 different types of percussion instruments? And the answer to that was the melodic and the non-melodic. Those melodic instruments are the ones that can keep the melody or have a different tune. And those non-melodic were the ones that keep that steady beat. The next one was, what is a percussion instrument? And I told you to look through the video to find out. And I found out that a percussion instrument is anything that makes noise when you hit it. So any instrument that you make noise by hitting it. The next question was, what is the purpose of the percussion music family? So the purpose of the percussion instruments is to keep that beat or keep that rhythm, so that in a full orchestra of all other instruments, they rely on that percussion to keep the beat, to know how fast that they're supposed to be moving. Then the last 2 questions was kind of, everyone will have a different answer. The one was, list 5 percussion instruments that you saw in the video. And I picked 5 that I saw while watching, and it was the snare drum, the bass drum, the timpani, cymbals, and bongos. And then the last one was one interesting fact that you guys learned, and I'm hoping that I'll get to read some of those in your portfolios this week, okay? So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep going with our percussion music family, and I have a bunch of instruments here. Some of them are percussion, and some of them are not percussion, and what I want is you guys to help me figure out if it's a percussion instrument or not. And the thing that we're going to ask in order to figure out if it's a percussion instrument is, how do we make noise with this instrument? If it's by hitting it, then that would be a percussion instrument. If it's not by hitting it, then we probably are going to put it in our not percussion side of our chart. So I'm just going to start with my first one here. Does anyone know what this is called? If you said bongos, you're right. These are the bongo drums. And let's see, how do you make noise with this? By hitting the top. So I think it's going to go on the percussion side. Good. Let me pick another one. Oh, this is a cool one. This is called a gong. And it's really big metal plate. And you make noise by using this mallet. So it makes sound by hitting the metal piece. So you hit it, and it's a percussion instrument. Let's try this one. Oh, you guys should definitely know what this is because we have used this a lot. This was a drum that we used in our African drumming unit. Does anyone remember what it's called? It's the Djembe Drum. If you said djembe, you're right. How did we make noise with this? Did we blow into it? No. We hit the top of it, right? And we were able to make those 3 different sounds with it. So, is it percussion or not percussion? If you said percussion, you are right. Let's try this one. This is something that Mr. G probably uses in PE sometimes. What is this? It's a whistle. A whistle, how do you make noise with a whistle? You blow into it, yes. So, is it a percussion instrument? How do we make the noise? No, it's not a percussion instrument because we make noise by blowing into it using our breath. Let's try these ones. What are these? These are maracas. Maracas, you make noise by shaking them. So the beads inside are hitting the outside of the maraca. So you are hitting it to make noise. So does that mean it's a percussion instrument? Yeah. Good job. All right, let's try this one. This one, you guys you might know what this is called. This is a clarinet. Miss S used to play the clarinet all the time when I was in school. But I used this instrument and I played into it by blowing into the top of that mouthpiece. So, is it a percussion instrument if I made noise by blowing into it? No, it's not. So we're going to put it in our not percussion group. Let's try another one. Snare drum, what do you think? Percussion or not percussion? Percussion, you're right. Okay, here we have a big tuba. In tubas, you make noise by putting your mouth right on the mouthpiece and you vibrate your lips in order to make the sound throughout the instrument. So is that hitting it? No, not hitting it. So it's going to be not percussion. What about these? We use these in class all the time. What is this one? There are rhythm sticks. And we make noise by what? Hitting them together. You're right. So, percussion. What about these? These are 3 different types of the same instrument. What do you think? Yes, they're percussion. These are cymbals. You can hit a drumstick on a cymbal. You can hit 2 cymbals together. But either way, you're using the percussion way of making music. What about these? These were in our Disney special. Timpani. These are a bunch of different ones. There are a few of them are different sizes. And remember, you can change the pitch of the sound by tightening it or loosening it or hitting different sizes of the timpani. But how are we making the sound? By hitting it, right? So is it percussion or not percussion? It's percussion. Good. Stick it down there. What about this one? Do we know what this is? It's a tambourine, and you can shake it or you can hit your hand against it. And what is this? Percussion. If you said percussion, you are right. Okay. How about this one? Looks really big, but this is a violin. So it's the smallest of this instrument family. And you play this instrument by vibrating the strings. Is that by hitting it? No. So we're going to say it's not percussion. Okay. What about this one down here? This is our xylophone. You have mallets and you have different, in this case they're wooden notes, and you have different sizes of them to make different sounds. This is one of our melodic instruments, percussion instruments, so it'll go in percussion. What about this one? This is a drum kit. So this is that whole drum set. We saw that one person on our special having a whole room filled with drums, and he played that drum kit for us. And it has a bass drum, it has a snare drum, it has the cymbals, lots of different drums that make different sounds. And that is percussion. Let's try this one. Do you guys know what this is called? This is a harp. And harps are similar to our violin you make noise by plucking the strings. So that would fall into not percussion. What about this one? You guys might have had some of these before. This is a kazoo. And what do? You put your mouth on the mouthpiece and you blow. And that's how you make your sound. So it would be not percussion. Let's try this one. What's this? It's a trumpet. Similar to our tuba, you make noise by putting your lips on the mouthpiece and buzzing your lips. So it would be not percussion, we're not hitting it. What about this one? This is a saxophone, which is similar to our clarinet. It has a mouthpiece with a little reed on it, and you make noise by blowing into the mouthpiece. So is it a percussion instrument? No. All right, 2 more. This is our triangle, and it's all metal. You have a metal mallet, and you have the metal triangle, and you can hit it together to make noise. So is it percussion? You're right, it's percussion. Good job. And my last one, this one is really tricky. So we have our keys. This is our piano, right? We have all of our keys up here. And back here inside our piano are mallets and strings. So what happens when you hit the keys is a little mallet hits the string and the string vibrates. And that's how you make noise on a piano. So is it a percussion instrument or is it not a percussion instrument? Well, this one's tricky because it's both. It's percussion because of the wooden mallets that hit the strings, but it's also considered a string instrument because of the strings that vibrate to make the sound. So I'm going to stick it right there in the middle because it can be both. Can you think of any other percussion instruments that you guys have seen before that could go on our percussion side? If you have any ideas and if you want to share some with me, you can share some through Class Dojo, okay? But today we went through what is percussion and what's not percussion. And next week we're going to talk about how to make that sound that percussion instruments make. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you next week and have a great week.